Hey kindergarten parents, it's Mr. Jackson here. I want to tell you a cool story. So your kids today, it's Compassion Day here, and they actually sponsored a new Compassion child. So what happened was their little guy Juma that you guys have been sponsoring, he actually went out of the Compassion program because either what happened was his family got more on their feet and they didn't need the help of the Compassion program anymore, or he moved out of the area. So Compassion called us and let us know that. And so kindergarten needed a new Compassion student. So what we did today was opened up a Compassion site, and the kids prayed, and then they selected from Compassion students available, and they chose Griselda from Guatemala, and she's been waiting almost 2 years for a sponsor. So they selected her, and the kids kind of talked about the reasons why they wanted to do her. So this is a cool story. About 5 years ago, we had a kid from Kenya. His name is Francis, and Francis was in kindergarten at the time, but now he's in 6th grade. So I was gonna go visit Francis in Kenya on a Compassion trip. So we wanted to add one more to our Kenya repertoire. So Compassion sent me a bunch of packets. They were like physical packets, it wasn't on the internet. And I got the packets right here on my desk. So I was looking through them, and I didn't have a lot of time, so I didn't think much of it. I just grabbed one. I said, yeah, this one will be fine. So I didn't think a whole lot of it, and her name was Janet. So we sponsored Janet because she lived near Francis, and she was in 7th grade at the time. So I got to Kenya, and I went to visit Francis, and it was really cool. And then I went to the Compassion Center. The Compassion Center is the place where they receive the care from the sponsorship. They receive, depending on what country it is and what area, they receive some education there. They receive food, they receive medical screenings, they receive uniforms for school if they need them. Their parents receive classes. So I got there and I met Janet. One thing she had that was so cool was all the letters that we had been, any letters that we had been sending to her. But then she walked me down the road to her house. It was a really small house, and we walked into her house, and I sat down on this little stool, and her mom was there, and we sat down in her, they would call it their living room. It's this teeny little room, and her mom started to tell me this story about how about 8 months earlier Janet had been wanting to receive a sponsor, because at the project I told you about, everyone knows about the Compassion Project, and all the kids want to have sponsors, but not all of them can because there's not enough sponsors available. So Janet had told her mom that she had dreamed that she got a sponsor. So her mom said, oh, that's really great, honey, but not every kid can have a sponsor. So literally that next week, the word came in that we had sponsored her. So Janet came home and said, Mom, I got a sponsor. That was us. So I was thinking, wow, God knew that. I had gone through all these packets, and I just said, oh, well, I guess this one's fine. But that girl had dreamed, Mom, I got a sponsor. Even better was this. 2 weeks after she got a sponsor, and she's telling me this in her room, in her living room, she told her mom, Mom, I dreamed again that my sponsor is gonna come to our house and he's gonna sit right here. And her mom's like, come on. And she dreamed that the sponsor was this really handsome white guy. So now she got part of that right. It was this white guy. So I went in and I sat down literally right where she had said that I would be. And so her mom's telling me this story, and I happen to have it on video. I'm not gonna show you the video right now, it's kind of long, but I'm like crying, and I can hardly keep this together. But my point is that when I picked out those things, I just had no idea. I was just kind of, doing whatever. I didn't even pray about it or anything, but each time we pick out a Compassion kid now, we think through it, we pray about it, because that kid is a kid that God wants us to sponsor. And so those kindergartners prayed about that today. Ms. Zimmer went through and thought about it, and they picked out Griselda from Guatemala, who likes soccer. She lives with her mother. We don't know why, but she doesn't have a dad in the household. And she also lives with her grandparents. And your kids are going to make a difference in her life. So thank you for sponsoring Juma from Africa. He's now not a part of Compassion, but you're going to make a difference in Griselda's life from Guatemala. So send in that money because it goes directly to help her with whatever needs she has. The Compassion Project knows what needs are good for that child, and they take care of that. So that's a little story for you, kindergarten families, just for you. So I hope you all have a great day. Bye.